Okay, everybody, now we're at problem 4. And problem 4 says, what does int variable to my type next it mean? Now, if you notice, I'm repeating very similar questions. In fact, if you go to question, I think it's question 2, the second question, what does string my variable mean? So I'm asking you, okay, first I asked you about string, and now I'm asking you about int, okay? Same thing, all right? It declares this variable as int my variable, declares it as, number one, it declares as an integer, as an int variable. And int stands for integer, and we will go over what integer is. It also declares my variable too as a user input, since it points back to my type. So again, this is very, very similar to question 2. So if you have any questions about this, just review the video on question 2. Okay? Then again, for our purposes, how many times do we declare this command? Well, we declare this command every time we ask a question. Again, there's an easier way to do this. There's a 3-step way to do it. But it's a little more confusing when you're not used to Java, so we're doing it this way at first. Okay? Part 3 says, for our purposes, where do we declare it? We declare it at when we want an input from the user. So every time there's an input, requires an input, we put this in. Okay, int my variable my int, and then it's just my variable without the int. Okay, and then again for our purposes. So again, I'm sorry. So when we declare it when we want an input from the user, and int means integer. An integer, this is very, very important, so you got to pay attention. An integer are basically, again, I have poor English. Stop that. Integers, okay? Integers are numbers, okay, that are not decimals and fractions. Or, I'm not an English major here. So again, integers are numbers that are not decimals or fractions. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are integers. -1, -2, -3, -4 are integers. Okay? It's a very important distinction. Okay? Sort of like, I want you to think about this for a second. You learned letters, right? Alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, right? So in this alphabet, you have consonants and you have vowels, right? So what's a vowel? A, E, I, O, U. And what's a consonant? Well, B, C, D, F, so on and so forth, okay? So likewise, numbers also have labels. So numbers that are not decimals or fractions, I'm making this easy for you, are called integers. And they can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or negative 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, let's do some JGrasp, and I will show you exactly what this means. Okay? We're going to erase everything here, and we're going to put, here you go. We're going to keep system as new scanner.in. Okay, we're going to keep that. Put system.out.println. Okay? How old are you? Okay? Put a quotation mark. I can't do this right. Boom. Notice it changes color. So if it's not changing color, we're doing something wrong. Okay, and then we're going to ask int, int, and we're going to call it age. Okay, and we're going to call age as ask. Again, it has to match a tier and scanner. And we're going to put next int. Boom. Okay. Write system dot out print line. Okay. I am blank years old. Okay. Or better yet, this is easier. My age is plus age. Boom. Okay. Compile. Save, compile. Run. How old are you? 12, 122. It doesn't matter. Age is 12. Okay. Now, what we mean by that? I'm going to go back to this question here. I'm going to go back to the part. For our purposes, how many times do we declare it? Well, again, from the first time you declare it, okay, you put the int, put your variable, put ask, okay, you're my type, and put next int, okay? Afterwards, it's just variable and my type and int, and I will show you, next int, and I will show you, okay? I'm going to put system dot out, print line, how old will you be next year, okay? Now, obviously, if I'm, now, I don't want to put two separate ages. I just want to repeat my age for whatever reason. I can put age is equal to ask dot next int. Now, okay, system dot out dot print line. My age next year is plus age. Okay, save, compile, run. How old are you? Oh, what happened here? I have no idea what happened here. Oh, that's not good. How old are you? Put 12. How old will you be next year? 12, 13. Okay. So if you look here, how old are you? 12. My age is 12, right? Very simple. How old will you be next year? 13. My age is 13. Notice I did not have to declare an int. Now we can do this another way. And let me see, go back to thread here. I need to call stack. I'll take care of this side later. Don't worry about it. Okay, I can do this again as many times as I like. I can just do system dot out. In fact, what I'll do is this. I'll just copy this because I don't like writing this stuff over and over again. Copy this. How old? I'm going to ask the question. How old were you last year? I'm going to get return age is equal to ask next int. Okay. System. That what we'll do is okay. My age last year was. Compile. Run. How old are you? 12. How old will be next year? My age next year will be 13. How old were you last year? 11. Okay. Go back. How old are you? I'm 12 years old. My age is 12. It matches this. Okay. Then we put. I'm sorry. Here. Then it said, how old will you be next year? Well, I'll be 13. Bam. How old were you last year? 11. Okay. Very simple. Okay. So pretty much we just answered questions 1 through 3. Now, again, this is very similar to question 2. What part of the command int, my variable 2 equals my type, it will remains constant? Well, the underlying portion int, and this will always stay the same. Okay? Unless you declare it twice, then that disappears. Okay, this part disappears. What part of the command, of this command, can we change? Again, like question 2, okay, my variable and my type changes. We have control over these two items. Okay, we'll go to part 6. In fact, did we go over part 6 earlier? Yes, no we didn't. Okay. Again, from part 5, give an example. And we just gave an example up at the top, okay? We showed you here, how this works. So we answered that example already. And you can put your own answer on. But from our example, we can ask a question. What is your favorite number? String favorite number. Next, okay? Part 7. What is the significance of int? In other words, what does int mean? And then we're repeating the question in different forms. For our purposes, int means an integer, and an integer are numbers, okay, that are not decimals and fractions. For example, 0, 1 through 4, and minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and so on. Okay? Real easy stuff, okay? Nothing hard, nothing complicated. Now I'm asking you, part 8, what is the difference between string and int? So you have to remember question 2. For our purposes, a string is a series of letters. Int means an integer. An integer, I'm sorry here, I have bad work on my English here. Integers, okay, are numbers that are not decimals and fractions. Again, we're just repeating the same thing over and over and over again in different forms, okay? It's kind of be prepared for this kind of stuff, okay? Now, the question I'm going to ask you in the exam are not going to be this difficult. I'll ask you much simpler questions. I'm not going to ask you weird questions. Very straightforward. I'll ask you something like, tell me what a string is. Tell me what an int is, declare, declare a variable and give an example. So you would say, okay, here's a variable of, I'm sorry. And in fact, look here, I messed up. It should be int. Look at me. I'm not even bright. Look at that. Here. So there's my error. See, I even made an error. So this is an example of declaring an integer variable. Okay? So who knows, anybody can make mistakes. So number 9, show the similarities and differences between declaring a string versus int. And it should be declaring string versus int. Okay? And show that they have what they have in common. So what I did was, what they have in common, I put them in red and circles. Okay? So to make it easier for you, I said, look, here's system.int. Here, see how I ask? Okay? So here's a next string, and here's an int, and here's next int. Okay, now I put spaces there because I couldn't get the circles in. When you code, do not put spaces like that, or it's wrong. But because it's an instructional video, I put spaces there because I'm trying to circle and help you. So notice what's in red is very similar. Here's scanner, new scanner system, scanner, new scanner system. Exact same thing, all right? Even the equal sign is exact, so you can even say the equal sign. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put the equal sign in red, all right, to make your life easier. Okay. Now, the system.out.println, don't worry about that. That part is irrelevant, okay? I don't want you to just ignore this. But what's important is, what I want you to get out of this is, see that circle ask of scanner? This repeats itself, okay? And this ask repeats itself. So technically, this ask points to here, okay? And I really don't even need this top statement, but I put it there for instructional purposes again. So technically, I don't even need this right here, and just this points here, okay? So ask, ask, ask. They're the same, okay? I'm giving you another example, okay? And I changed this type to ask question, okay? Again, scanner here is red. They all have this in common, okay? And you have to circle, ask a question. So here and here, they have also in common. So you see the declarations, they're the same. And here, the declarations are the same. Now, again, once we declare this, you really don't need this side. And you can just have this here. But again, for instructional purposes, I put both on top. All right? Now, show how they are different. So here you have a string. On the left side you have the string declaration. On the right side you have the int declaration. Where they're different is string, string. Okay? It's the first thing that's different. Second thing that's different is your variable name. You cannot name the string, like you cannot do this. You cannot have string name1 and then you cannot have, let's say, int name1. Okay, that's wrong. You can't do that. Okay, so in other words, they have to be different. Okay, so we're going to put favorite number. Okay, so this blue is pointing from variable to variable, showing they're different. And the third thing that's different is dot next. Here you have dot next, open parentheses, close parentheses. Here your dot next is dot next int, capital INT, open parentheses, close parentheses. Okay, this is how they're different. And I give a second example. Okay, again, string, int's different. Okay, name, favorite number, they're different. And dot next, open parentheses, close parentheses versus dot next, capital INT, open parentheses, close parentheses. So those are different. Okay? So this ends problem 4. Man, you guys must be tired because it's a lot of homework. This ends problem 4. Please review this video and go over what I did in examples. And you will learn a lot from reviewing. This ends problem 4.